I think for me, there came a point in time where I knew something was wrong and I didn't know what it was. I got in a really crazy accident. It was July 2017. July 2017. It was a two-way like highway almost. Yeah, it was a highway, state road. And I had turned off of the freeway onto it. And oncoming traffic, there was a truck and trailer that was stopped, and you could tell it needed to turn left into the parking ride. And I thought, he's gonna cut me off. Like, I can't go. I need to wait. But then he actually wasn't gonna just cut me off. Luckily, there was nobody behind me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna speed up. So as I start speeding up, there's two cars parked behind the trailer, and out of nowhere, a Hummer comes into my lane. And I just remember all I said was, he's gonna hit me. And he did. He took off my whole passenger side, like the whole front end. My wheel was in the passenger seat practically. I had taken off his driver wheel, and I don't, all I remember is saying, get your phone and get out, get your phone and get out, get your phone and get out. And that's what I did. And I had an aux cord connected to my phone because I was listening to music. And so I felt for the aux cord and I pulled my phone up and I unplugged it and I got out of the car. And I mean, the airbags deployed. So it was kind of coughing, and I don't remember too many details. I was right before a hospital clinic, that this accident happened. And I remember the first lady that came to me, I was on the phone with 911 immediately after getting out of the car, but I had no idea where I was. I didn't know what road I was on. Just kept telling her, like, I'm off the Benjamin exit. I'm off the Benjamin exit. I'm going to Spanish Fork. And she's like, I don't know where you're at. What, do you see signs? I'm like, no, I don't know what road this is. All I know is I'm right off the Benjamin exit. And at this point, I mean, it was 5:30 at this point. So, I mean, it was pretty heavy traffic. And I mean, people were just running towards me. I remember one lady, she was like, you've got to sit down. And I didn't want to sit down at all. And then I remember she said, there's no one in the car. No one else is in the car. And they could see Kelson's car seat. And so I said, no, it's just me. I promise it's just me. And they all checked the car. And then all of a sudden I had a doctor in scrubs who had just gotten out of work from the clinic. And he was like, you've got to sit down. And I'm like, but it hurts to sit down. And at that point, I was working out really regularly, and I was doing keto, I'm pretty sure. So I was probably 240 pounds at that point. And still it was uncomfortable for me to sit in certain positions, especially on a fucking gravel road. And then I remember there was another guy that came and he's like, where's your phone? Like, I'll take pictures for you. So he took my phone and took all these pictures. And I did not want the very first lady to call Kelly, my husband at the time. I didn't want her to call him. I didn't want her to. I was so scared. I was like, he's going to freak out. She's like, I need to call him. And I'm like, okay. So she calls him and she tells him, and he said that was the most terrifying phone call he's ever gotten. And he luckily was getting Kelson from daycare, and we were going to meet back at home. I had the worst Monday. It was like the craziest Monday ever. I like bled through my pants. I like started my period, or I had a really heavy flow day. I bled all over my pants. Had to go buy brand new pants from Buckle. And then there was something else that happened that day. And then this car accident, right? So um, Kelly gets there. I had a glass like bowl in the back seat, and it didn't break at all. How it didn't break, I have no idea. So Kelly like grabbed a couple things from my car. He drove to the hospital following the ambulance. And Kelson actually went with our neighbor, our old neighbor, that just happened to be driving past. And so she took Kelson. We went to the hospital. And I remember the EMT, she was so excited. She like gets out her scissors, right? She will cut my pants open. And I was like, no, 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 no. Please do not cut my pants. Like I will take my pants off. I will take them off. I don't care. I will be in my underwear. I don't care. You cannot cut my pants. I literally just bought them. Like I just bought them today. And she was like, but what if your leg's broken? I'm like, I'll take my pants off. It's not broken. I will take my pants off. She's like, okay, get your pants off. So I get my pants off, and I'm riding the ambulance. I am scared to death of needles, and they had to put in IVs and stuff. And God, the lady was so sweet. And the ambulance driver pulled off to the side of the road so that there wasn't any issues. And luckily I didn't cry. But we get to the hospital and I did all the things, and you know, I there were so many people there, and there was so much help. Had I have been going 1 second faster, 1 mile per hour faster, I wouldn't be here today. I don't understand how I wasn't meant to die that day. I call that day my angel day. Because that's the day that changed everything. It took a lot. It took from July through probably April. I did physical therapy, I did chiropractor, I did massage, I went to counseling. I mean, all the things. I got shots in my neck because my migraines were so bad. I wasn't sleeping very well. I wasn't working out as often, for sure. And yeah, I probably gained 20 pounds back. And well, no, I probably started at 220. No, I'm lying. I probably gained 20 pounds. I was probably back at 260. I did. I just fell, and we were building this big, beautiful home, and it wasn't stressful, but I did enjoy the process. Work was fine. I was anxious quite a bit. And I never got on medications for anything until the very end, when my migraines were they were bad and almost debilitating. And I've never had headaches like that before. So that's why I got the shot. And then my other doctor tried to I don't know, my normal doctor, he like put an IV in and gave me some kind of medicine, and I reacted so poorly to it. And it's just like a generic, like calm you down medicine. And I had a really bad reaction to it. And then he gave me a blood thinner to see if that would help. And it was I apologize. It was a high blood pressure medicine. And I was on it for maybe a week, and that weekend I happened to have it off, I think. And I no, shoot, I don't remember. So I think Kelly worked that Saturday. I think he worked overtime, and I went and picked him up after work. And oh my gosh, I'm losing track of my timeline. It was like the middle of the week, probably Thursday. And I remember work was like crazy, like I was super stressed. And I remember I was standing at the big boy, big girl blue cubes in my store. And I said to myself, like, it'd be so much easier if you just weren't here. And it like freaked me the fuck out. I was like, what was that? And then I remember getting out of the car at Kelly's work, and it was springtime, right? It's April. Well, they had the Provo River right there, and the runoff was insane on that day. And I remember saying to myself, you can just jump in the river. It would take care of everything. And I lost it. It was like the craziest voice I've ever had in my head, the scariest voice I've ever had in my head. And I didn't know what the fuck was happening. And I called Kelly immediately, and I told him he needed to get out of work right now, and he needed to come outside because I wasn't safe. And then that next Sunday, we were literally just in Costco. And as I'm like walking on the frozen section, I was like, well, today's gonna be the last day. I'm gonna die today. And it was so matter of fact and not me. It was so scary. So scary. And I didn't see anything to Kelly because Kelly and Kelsey were with me. At that point, like we were carpooling to work all the time. Like I was not by myself very often. And I was just so anxious all the time, and I didn't want to be left alone. And we were driving home after Costco, and I just started bawling my eyes out. And he's like, what is wrong? And I told him what thought I had in Costco. And I was like, I wonder if I need to get off of this medication. And so I called the clinic the next day, and I was like, I'm done taking this. Like I have had thoughts of death. I Googled it. It said stop taking it immediately. Do you recommend that? Doctor was like, absolutely quit taking them. So after that, I was like, there is something wrong. I have gone through all of these things, all of this medication, all of this physical therapy, all of this counseling, like something's wrong. And I didn't know what was wrong, and I couldn't figure it out. And I try to be really good about not taking a whole bunch of medication, because I don't like it. I don't like it messing with my body. And so I struggled to, I didn't want to be on an antidepressant. I didn't want to do any of those things. I don't feel good when I'm on them. And so my hair girl, my beauty girl is what I call her, Kayla, she suggested to go see her mother-in-law. And I was like, okay, well, who's your mother-in-law? And her name's Chris. And Chris saved my life. I was very cautious because I just call her my spiritual coach. She's a psychic. She connects with spirit very well. She just does some really cool shit. and she just does all the things. And I was very cautious to tell her anything because I didn't want her to know anything. And I was like, okay, I haven't tried this. I've tried everything else. Like, I'm just gonna go for it. And so very quickly, she had determined that I had a bad spirit that was attached to me. And it was most likely from my car accident. Because when trauma happens like that, your aura gets porous and things can get attached to you. And where my car accident was is actually in a portal. And so when people can't pass on, they get stuck in this worldly realm in their spiritual body, and they just attach to whatever they can. And that day was the day that I got a bad friend. So she did a ceremony of sorts, and we called up. At that point, I didn't know what I believed in. All I knew was that I believed in angels because my mom was one. And so we called my mom. My mom passed away. She's right there. My mom passed away when I was 3 months old. And I've never seen her. I don't remember her. I don't remember her smell. I don't remember. And I've always tried to connect with her, but I couldn't figure out how. And so Chris did her thing, and she called my mom in, and I saw my mom for the first time in my life. She has a beautiful white dress on and her flowy bangs. And she took this spirit away. And I, forever after that day, I've always believed that there's another world, there's another realm, and it opened up my world to where I am today. Today, I am a Reiki master, a crystal expert. I read tarot, and I'm a self-love coach. I have fallen in love with myself from being so alone and scared and anxious 5 years ago, to now, like, I embody the goddess that I am, and I love myself so fully. It's been a long road. It actually feels like it's gone very quickly, but the things that I've learned over the last 4 years have led me to this point to where I'm all but there to losing 100 pounds. I have my own business. I still run my own over $1 million store. I own my beautiful home. I have a beautiful car. I have a beautiful fucking life that I've created. And now I'm to this point where everything that I put for power into and magic, it happens very quickly. This is just the beginning of me sharing. And I want my self-love to be a safe place for other people to start loving themselves. My favorite quote that I've ever said is, falling in love with yourself is the most beautiful part of the process. And I'm ready for you to feel that too. So anyways, that's my story. That's how I got here. That's how I found Reiki. That's how I found tarot and my psychic abilities and my love of crystals and mermaids and spirit. I'm working on the spider thing. The spider thing. I'm not there yet. I'm not spider lady yet. Anyways, I love you so much and I'm excited to see what happens. I love you. Have a beautiful day.